square meter?
So one bedroom, let's say a one bedroom suite.
Well, for example, I have like
like
a 15 square meter apartment, and I pay like 500 euros per month.
So 15 square meters, so that's times 3.
Yeah, so 450 feet.
So let's say 500 square feet. That's very small.
Yeah, exactly.
And you pay 500?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you have to pay the utilities on top of that too.
Well, that's
so.
not bad.
Yeah, for other cities, that's still not that bad. If you compare it to London or Paris or Amsterdam or any Scandinavian country, Berlin's a lot cheaper.
Is it?
Yes, Berlin's still quite a cheap city because it used to be part of the Eastern Germany, and that's why the prices are so cheap there still. So Eastern Germany is usually a little bit cheaper than Western Germany.
Well, we were there a couple of years ago.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so if you guys look behind me, you'll see this small wooden sign that says Zum Brandanfang, which means to the beginning of the fire. And it has this sign because this is where the Great Fire of 1842 started, right here in this building. It used to be an old cigar factory, so a great place for a fire to start if a fire would start. And if you guys look over in this direction at those buildings, then look in the other direction at those buildings, what way do you think the Great Fire went? Exactly, there's lots of old beautiful buildings over here and a lot of ugly new buildings over in this direction. So the wind was blowing in this direction, and the fire started on the night of May 4th to May 5th. May 5th was a Christian holiday. It was a day of Ascension, and there were a lot of festivities planned at the St. Nicholas Church that we were just at. So they had this sermon in the morning, but by the afternoon the church had burnt to the ground. And the saying about the St. Nicholas Church goes that right before the burning steeple was about to collapse inside of itself, the church bells started to toll one last time all by themselves. So that's a saying about the St. Nicholas Church and the Great Fire. Now, the fire lasted for a total of 3 days, but by the second day, the firefighters here in the city were completely exhausted, so they had to call on neighboring cities for help. Cities like Kiel and Lübeck, they needed to send their firefighters here to the city to help put the Great Fire out, which they did on the third day, May 8th, but by that time, over a quarter of the city had been destroyed by the Great Fire. And the worst thing about the Great Fire is that it was set by an arsonist, somebody who intentionally started the fire. Apparently the owner of the cigar factory wasn't very well liked, and somebody was trying to hurt him and his business. And in doing so, they destroyed a quarter of the city, made 20,000 people homeless, and killed 51 people. So a horrible tragedy that the fire was set on purpose. Another horrible thing is they never caught the arsonist who started the fire. The night watchman who saw the arsonist running away from the fire was so involved in trying to put the fire out, he wasn't able to chase down this person and bring him to justice for doing so much destruction to the city. So another horrible thing that they were never able to punish this person. So that's the last I'm going to talk about the Great Fire on our tour today. I'm sure you're all relieved that you won't hear any more about this Great Fire. But if you guys look over in this direction at those buildings again, you might think that you're in another beautiful European city. Anyone want to guess what city that might be? Amsterdam, exactly. Amsterdam is absolutely filled with these beautiful medieval types of buildings. In fact, most of the architecture from those buildings comes directly from the city of Amsterdam. Unfortunately, Hamburg only has a handful of these really beautiful medieval types of buildings left, but we're going to go to a part of the city that used to be filled with these beautiful medieval types of buildings. It's called the Speicherstadt, which means the warehouse city. You can actually see it. It's on the other side of that bridge over there. So if any of you want to go for a really nice swim, we'll meet you right over there at the Speicherstadt. Or not. Okay, so let's go to our next stop, the Speicherstadt.